feel like I finally figured out my natural makeup look, so let's do it. I'm gonna start off by saying that when it comes to makeup, I am a full glam girl. I have tried to do minimal makeup looks before, and it's taken me up till now to figure out a routine that I actually like. Hourglass Hydrating Skin Tint in the shade 7. They recently sent this to me and I was so excited because I've been wanting to try it and I love it. It doesn't have a ton of coverage, which is exactly what I want. I'm trying really hard to get away from super full coverage. I feel like that was something that I kind of used as like security when I was struggling a bit more with my skin. Trying not to use that as like a cover so much anymore. Nothing wrong with it. I still like it, but I'm trying to be honest with myself about the reasons why I used to use full coverage so much, and it's because I wanted to hide stuff. This skin tint is very light coverage. You can still see my pigmentation through it. It does help neutralize some redness, but you can see all the little blemishes and pigmentation I have on my skin, and I have to be okay with that. Being nicer to myself about my skin is not just about my skincare, it's also about how my skin looks with makeup too. When you struggle with acne for so long, and the way I did, you develop coping mechanisms that make you feel comfortable, and it can be hard to let them go. I don't know what this brush is called, but it's also from Hourglass, and it feels really nice. I'm gonna use the Hourglass concealer in the shade Sepia. This is probably my favorite. I've been using this one forever. I'm just gonna let it sit on my under eye area for a little bit. Rare Beauty bronzer stick in the shade Always Sunny, just to add a bit of warmth. And I'm gonna use the same brush to blend that out. I always blend into my hairline and blend it upwards. I probably put a bit too much there. Just keep blending, it'll be fine. I always blend it into the hairline and then just feather it down a little bit. And then whatever's left on the brush, I'll just bring a little bit onto the nose. Just tap out the concealer too. I like using the same brush for as much as possible because I feel like it just marries everything together nicely. I think this will actually work for the concealer too. It fits really nicely. This shape kind of reminds me of the House Labs concealer brush. It's just bigger. I actually prefer this foundation brush for concealer to the Hourglass concealer brush. I found that one was a little bit too firm for me. This one's working really nice. Hourglass actually sent me a huge box of products, which I am so appreciative for because they've always been one of my favorite brands. And I actually figured out this look the day I got that box. I just sat down and quickly did my makeup. It took like 15 minutes. And I realized I actually really liked it. It was so simple, but I realized it was the natural makeup look I've been trying to figure out for so long. Using the Hourglass setting powder now to just lightly set the whole face. This is normally where I start to go into full glam when I do my regular makeup. I will set my face with lots of powders, I'll layer powders, but with this natural look, it's less. I'm gonna use a bit of the Charlotte Tilbury pressed powder on the areas where I tend to get a little bit more shiny and I don't want to be, which is gonna be right around here and a little bit here. I'm gonna use this Hourglass blush in the shade Luminous Flush. I've actually never paid attention to this color, but when I saw it in the box, I was like really interested. I have Sublime Flush, which is like a lighter pink with like a bit of a lavender swirl, and the shade At Night, which is a deeper red with like a pearl swirl, and they're both really pretty, but I like this one too. Like, look how pretty. This shade is not too cool toned, which usually doesn't work for me when they're too cool toned, so I like this one. Gonna use a bit of the bronzer that's in this palette. This is actually the darkest color combination, and I got it in the leopard case because you were able to customize them. I don't think it's available anymore, but any bronzer will do. I'm gonna lightly place this around the perimeter. I'm gonna lightly fill in my brows with the Patrick Ta Brow Kiki in the shade Auburn. Just like a slightly reddish tint. Not too much. Just like that. I have facial paralysis on this side of my face, so this eyebrow is naturally lower, especially in the arch, than this eyebrow. This side of my face is actually a few millimeters lower than this side of my face. I feel like I try to overcompensate by like the angles I use, and like using makeup helps to even it out a lot, but yeah, this side is numb, this side isn't, and it affects my makeup. Just to soften it up a bit, I like to brush through after I fill in my brows. Taking a fluffy blending brush and using the same bronzer that I put on my face. I'm I'm just gonna take that through the crease just a little bit for some warmth. I don't want it to look like super strong eyeshadow. I just want to warm up the crease so there's some definition. Literally like 10 seconds. Gonna use a tiny bit of brown liner on the outer corner. A tiny bit. And drag it out with my finger. My eyelashes don't ever stay curled, but I'm still gonna try. Somehow hope that today will be the day they listen. YSL Lash Clash mascara. Honestly, I just need to get a lash lift because that's the only thing that works to keep my lashes curled. Anastasia Cool Brown Lip Liner. I always clean up my lip liner with a flat brush. Lay the brush on the edge of my lip and drag it down. It will naturally follow the edge of your lip. Same thing here. It's the easiest thing. It literally just like guides itself. I just realized Cool Brown and Sweet Tea are kind of similar. The darker one is Cool Brown and this is Sweet Tea. Summer Fridays Pink Sugar. Makeup done. It has taken me so long to find a natural makeup routine that I really, really like and that I'm happy with, and I found it. As always, if you have any questions, let me know, or if you have any suggestions for products you want me to try, I'm all ears.